What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Friday Night Pep Rally right here on Riverside TV. My name is Pep Fernandez, joined as always by the Big Jeezy, Jeff Gorham, Ghazal Hassan, the voice of Riverside TV, all those live games that you just saw, including King against Pauley, joining us in just a moment. We've got a bunch of games. I think we've got a dozen, maybe a baker's dozen if we threw one more in there at the end, but at least a dozen games, a bunch of scores to get to. And we're going to start with the Riverside TV Game of the Week. That was King against Pauley. Big-time rivalry game, and thousands of people packed into King to watch this one. Let's go to the highlights. Wolves and Bears going head-to-head, again, right here live on Riverside TV. Jeff and Ghazal, you guys were there. Thousands. How many say? 5,000 or 6,000 people there?
At least. Not a seat empty in the entire place.
King goes to work early on. Noah Villarreal punches in the touchdown, and then Villarreal right up the gut from 10 yards out. 14-zip King with the Wolves run away with this. Not quite yet, though. Here on this 8-yard touchdown run, that's going to be Harper going in, 21-0 King. But Pauley trying to not be their own worst enemy. Bad snap and the big loss there by the Riverside Pauley Bears. King, Sam Green, man. We say this guy's name every single week here on the Friday Night Pep Rally. Great hair as well. Green up the sidelines here. And you can see all those fans in the background as well. 40 yards on that play, but they come up empty on that drive. Now Pauley with the ball going down the field. And I'm going to let Ghazal say the name. Demaje Allen. All the way to the pylon there for Riverside Pauley. That would set up this. Aguilar, the quarterback. Victor Aguilar, the touchdown. Pauley is on the board. That makes it 21-7. And again, huge turnout tonight for the Bears and the Wolves. King, the extra point is up and good, and here comes King again going back on offense. It's going to be Ben Major with a major run up the middle, finally wrestled down, it looks like around the 20-yard line, and then it's going to be Sam Green catching this pass, and he is going to do the rest. That guy is a real problem. Actually taking it to the 40 right there, and then King going deep downfield, and there is Green in for the touchdown. You know, King jumped out to the early lead. Pauley made things interesting, right, to say the very least. But King holds on to the victory tonight against Riverside Pauley. And the final score in that one was
21-7.
21-7.
So one of the runs by Villarreal was a 2-point conversion, not a touchdown. So 14-0 at the half. And then Pauley, as Jeff and I watched, they dominated the third quarter to make it 14-7. And then King turned on the burners, Pep, and they ended the game 21-7. But you're 100% right. What an atmosphere tonight there on the corner of Van Buren and Wood. On both student sections were really active. The den for the Bears and the red zone.
No, the friend zone.
I don't think you know what the friend zone means, Jeff.
No, I mean everybody hangs out and they're all friends. So instead of the red zone, we're going to call it the friend zone. So if you're hanging out, you like a girl or you like a boy or whatever, and it doesn't work out, you still have a lot of friends. Isn't that the friend zone?
How about we say this? Tremendous atmosphere tonight.
Either way.
Martin Luther King High. And that's what Friday night's supposed to be about.
Yeah.
And even getting out. We had a little problem getting out. It was very crowded. But, it was a good thing. I'll deal with that. That was wonderful. Kind of great to see both student bodies supporting the rivalry. And this is the same home field for both teams. But I think we broke some news tonight.
Yes. In fact, I'm going to break it right now. Riverside Pauley will not be playing next year at Martin Luther King High School.
They're
going to
not?
be back in their home field at Wheelock Stadium next year.
Oh, Wheelock?
Yes, they're going to be back. That's where they played all those years. But I want to say this. We've talked a lot about this young man, Sam Green, and his beautiful hair. His parents are good looking, but this guy has come out of nowhere. Didn't get a chance to be the offensive juggernaut he is this year, but the flow, the looks, the play, 6'3", built like just a stud. He's going to find himself a nice college roster to play on next year. And wow, he has been very impressive so far for King.
5 catches, 135 yards, and that Kudekar touchdown in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Pauley had made it 14-7, and they had a couple of opportunities, but the King defense deserved a little bit of credit. They stood up tonight, and then they were able to close it out. Jason McMains get the offense going for the touchdown to Sam Green. Nice play made by Joshua Harper, their senior quarterback. Stuck with the program for 3 years. A couple guys were in ahead of him. He stuck it out, and now he's a starter his senior year.
Well, let me ask you this, since we got you here, Ghazal. So King stepping up on defense. Next week, they're going to level up as they play Marietta Valley, who can score a ton of points. That's a Thursday night game. What do you see King going from here?
Jeff and I talked about this, and I mentioned to you before we went on the air. So it's week 3, so teams have played either 3 or 4 games. This is kind of like the identity check week, right? We're going to learn the identity of some of these teams. Now, there are programs out there at Centennial, Cajon, Aquinas. They kind of have established identities for years and years and years. Both Jerron Gilbert, who's at Poly, and Jason McMahon's now in his, I think, 3rd or 4th year at King. They're both kind of trying to establish the identity. Get a win against Marietta Valley.
Yeah.
That's a big step, right?
That'd be a huge step.
Hey, they're going to face the Bears 2 weeks in a row. But the Bear next week is a lot tougher and meaner.
The Bear next week?
Yeah.
The Nighthawks?
Yeah, you got Bear.
Oh, Bear Bachmeyer.
Bear Bachmeyer,
the quarterback. That's right. The Bears and the Bear.
The Bear. And I'll tell you what, he is fun to watch. And isn't there another one like Snake or
There's another one.
Ferret?
Tiger. Ferret Bachmeyer.
Ferret Bachmeyer. I'm telling you, that's a great name. You got, what is it? You have Tiger, you have Bear.
Well, Hank's the oldest. He led
Hank,
the way, but yeah.
Hank and Ferret.
Yeah.
Ferret, the younger brother.
Gazelle, finally, real quick, you guys will be on the call tomorrow. RCC, home opener, right?
Home opener for the Tigers. Very different look for Tom Kraft's team. 45-40 in the opener on the road against Long Beach City College. Golden West comes in. They're both ranked. So Brad Hoyston has his Dirty 30, the JC rankings. I think he has RCC ranked a little bit behind Golden West. So we'll see what happens tomorrow at noon from Wheelock Stadium. So happy to be back at Wheelock. I don't know about you, Jeff.
I'm excited to be back, but remember, 2 years ago, I think it was, Retzlaff was the quarterback at Golden West and beat the Tigers.
That's right.
Hey, anything can happen. That's a big rivalry.
Remember, the Tigers in the playoffs got the win that year. They got to the state final in 2021 and in 2022. It'll be interesting to see. A lot of local guys. You'll love this. A lot of local guys on that RCC roster, as always, for Coach Tom Kraft.
Should be exciting. That's noon tomorrow right here on Riverside TV, RCC home opener. Gazelle, always appreciate the time. We're going to keep running here on this show. Next up, Norte Vista. Let's take you out to the Coachella Valley, the desert. Norte Vista taking on the Rancho Mirage Rattlers. They always say the home of the Braves, right? They always lift their helmets. Tajon Henderson had himself a ball game against the Rattlers, and we knew the Riverside Poly transfer was going to do big things. Seth Bollinger, the quarterback, finds Tajon Henderson there for the touchdown catch. And Scott, I'm going to give you and Andy a warning in the background. When we get to the end, I'm going to shut up so we can hear some gnat sound at the end from Tajon Henderson. There's Henderson on the run. The guy can catch. The guy can run the football. Jeff, I know you're a big fan.
I love the guy. I see him walking around campus. He is a scholar. He is a gentleman. And I'll tell you what, he is a great football player.
Yeah, people say he's just a great dude. Also, obviously a great football player. There's Dreddy Elaine, the Elaine train, part 2, going in for the touchdown there for Norte Vista. And they go on to a big win, 45-14 the final score. Braves on top. Braves are now improved to 2-1 on the year. And now I'm going to be quiet.
No doubt, bro. Hey, for Pet. For Pet. Oh, what's up, Pet? How you doing, man?
So that was our guy Tajon Henderson giving a shout out after that big run to the goal line to set up a score. Novi wins 45-14.
Yeah, they're going to be really good. I'll tell you, Ken Batdorf's getting them going really, really solid so far this year. They can run the football. They can pass a little bit, too. I don't know how much they're going to pass come league play, but you watch during the playoffs, that young quarterback has got them going pretty well, especially with Tajon Henderson out in the flat.
Okay, so big win for Norte Vista out in the desert. Could Ramona do the same thing? Actually, it's one of the best games of the week tonight. Ramona going on the road to Palm Springs. Let's go to those highlights. Could Ram High do what the Braves did? Get a big win out in the desert. There's Ramona High School, Jeff's favorite uniforms in the world.
And they were, I'll tell you what, they were the big hit on Twitter or whatever you want to call it this week. They have the best unis. Look, another new uniform scheme right there and a great catch.
Jeremiah Acosta going deep to Jake Valenzuela, right? We talk about this guy a lot. Palm Springs, they got a stud running back. His name is Jordan Johnson, number 41. Runs one in for the Indians there. It was back and forth all night long in this game. Acosta with time, going to the end zone again, and there's this guy, number 22, Royce Mendoza, man. I love double deuce. This guy makes big-time plays, Jeff.
Well, I'll tell you what, he has been great. They've had Peter Masa's been great. They're just a little bit undersized and a little bit back and forth. You know, you don't know which team you're going to get from the Rams. Last week it was a tough one, but this week, man, fun to watch.
That was a big touchdown by Johnson from Palm Springs. Ram High has the answer. Acosta to the corner of the end zone. That's Antonio Lerma for the Rams. This game would not be decided until the very, very, very end. Jake Valenzuela would have the winning touchdown in this one as Ram High wins a shootout in Palm Springs by a final of 43-36. Jeff, Ram High, we thought, man, they lost so many great seniors from a season ago, but they have not skipped a beat.
27 players off last year's roster, 18 starters. Coach Mush does what he does best. He coaches football. He can adjust. He adjusted after a tough loss last week to Martin Luther King, and the Rams are back on pace to where they have been for the last few years.
Yeah, they've been on a roll under Coach Mush. All right, now speaking of coaches, Travis Carter, the head coach at Hillcrest, trying to get his first win of the season. Did you know this? It was his birthday yesterday.
No, happy birthday, Coach.
Yeah.
He's an F-16 pilot. He's a good-looking guy. I met his entire family last game. They should be 3-0, but how do they do tonight?
I know. After back-to-back losses by 1 point, could they get the win against Lakeside? There's the birthday boy.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, Coach Carter out there, and Hillcrest, they would get started early against the Lancers. Opening drive, Alfredo Vinces, the touchdown run for the Trojans. This was their opening drive, and that really set the tone for the rest of the game. Goes in for the touchdown there. Now, Lakeside, let's follow Vinces first. You ever feel like someone's like staring over your shoulder?
Yes.
Literally staring
that
over your
you
shoulder.
over your
That
shoulder?
was me. Yeah, I was being nosy. Lakeside back to punt. The ball is low. Great field position now for Hillcrest, and they would make Lakeside pay. Vinces into the end zone. That is touchdown number 2, and Hillcrest goes on top by a score of 14-0. Hillcrest, though, I know they love to run the football, but they can go through the air as well. Christian Alvarado, the QB, hits Nick Shaw. Trojans on the move again. This time it's going to be back to the ground, back to Vinces, touchdown number 3 in the game, and just like that, Jeff, the game had barely started. It's 21-zip Hillcrest.
Holy cow, I was checking out with you and a bunch of other people, and you told me the score, how quick it was. I'm like, hey, maybe Hillcrest has found their niche again.
Yeah, and they're flying around on defense, too. James Maldonado, the sack there for Hillcrest. And Lakeside, though, going to answer with... how about this one? Trying to go downfield. The quarterback, all kinds of time. Nope. Wrap him up and bring him down.
They gave him the Anaconda squeeze.
Is that what they call that?
Yes, that's exactly what they call it.
Hillcrest with the football. They were actually driving, but an interception here by Benny Santos of the Lancers. One of their few highlights in this game. That quarterback, he's a big dude, and look at that one. Tackle for a loss. Almost an interception.
Is that Bobby Hebert?
That was Zaya Guerrero on the big play for Hillcrest, and then it's going to be Guerrero, the sack, leading a host of Trojans on this play. They really brought the defense, and Lakeside did not do themselves any favor, scrambling around. Elias Capote leading a host of Trojans there on the big sack. And then finally, how about some more offense? Matt Ramos into the game as a wildcat quarterback, right? The direct snap, takes off on the run. Big run for Ramos.
Can't bring him down.
He did the work, Jeff, so let him get paid. Ramos caps off the drive with a touchdown here. That makes it 28-0 at that point. Hillcrest wins it for the birthday boy. 42-0 the final score. That is win number 1 on the season for the Trojans. I just like being nosy. There's Ramos on the bench after that touchdown run. They led big at halftime, and they go on to win 42-0
He
the
still
final
looks like
score.
he's about 17 years old.
Yeah, he's
I mean, I'm talking about coach, not.
Ramos. Yeah, Hillcrest 42-0. That was their first win of the season. Lakeside still trying to get their first win of the year. All right, next up, let's talk some JW North. Going on the road to Roosevelt. And, Jeff, we know Roosevelt has emerged as one of the elite programs here in the Inland Empire. They got your good buddy Chuck Chastain as the head coach. That's a tough road trip for anybody.
Anytime Dog Bite is playing, I love seeing Coach Chastain.
All right, let's go to the highlights. Roosevelt taking on 3rd and Chicago. JW North. The Huskies with upset on their mind, but easier said than done. There's Brian Wilson.
Wait, the Beach Boys?
Finds Nathan Enriquez. He's got some blockers downfield, and Enriquez goes in for the touchdown there for Roosevelt. I know we're big fans of Brian Wilson. This time the handoff
love
to
the Beach
Mitchell Rodenbaugh. Rumbling up the middle and in for the touchdown. Get in there for another Roosevelt score that makes it 12-0 at that point. And then Wilson, all kinds of time. Brian Wilson, he's got some of those good vibrations as he runs into the end zone. I actually, you know, I'm a country music guy, but I love the Beach Boys, man. Who doesn't? Who doesn't love Brian Wilson on the touchdown run, goes in for the score. He gets around, as they would say, right? Wilson,
look at you,
right? I'm on fire. Wilson goes in. That's another touchdown? That's another touchdown for Wilson. Here comes an extra point, or excuse me, a field goal by Logan Anderson for Roosevelt. At that point, it was 28-0 Mustangs. Here's Rodenbaugh. He gets the call. He's going to distance himself from the secondary. Nobody's going to touch him. Rodenbaugh goes in for the touchdown. And North trying to show some signs of life. Cam Shannon. Yeah, that's your guy. Carson Branch on the other end for third in Chicago. They get the touchdown. And how about this extra point by Alana Vaipulu?
The niece,
yes,
OP Vaipulu.
Yeah, she knocks it home, makes it 34-7, but the damage was already done by Roosevelt. Rodenbaugh had himself a ball game. We've said his name quite a bit. Brian Wilson quite a bit. Rodenbaugh, man, with all kinds of blockers downfield as well, gets inside the pylon for another touchdown. Here comes the extra point, and just a big, big win for Roosevelt on Thursday night. 41-7 against J.W. North. So we knew Roosevelt was good. Not a big shock to see them put 41 up on North.
Yeah, tough one on North. North, very athletic, very skilled team. They just need, they're going to have their growing pains.
Yeah.
It's going to take them a while. OP Vaipulu is going to have those guys going. I'm sure next couple weeks he'll be great.
All right, Jeff, there was I would say about 3 games I was really excited about, premier matchups in our area. Later in the show, we're going to have San Jacinto against Rancho Verde highlights. That was one of the big games.
Yes.
Centennial going on the road against Bishop Gorman, ranked number 2 in the country. Highlights of that one as well. And this game right now, Cajon against Aquinas, battle for San Bernardino, 2 of the top teams in all of the Inland Empire. This would be a big one, and I was a little surprised by the way this one played out.
The Cowboys were calling me out, saying they have the best uniforms in the Inland Empire.
They were, and Cajon does. They've got a lot of great uniforms. Cajon going with the road whites in this one.
Is that Jaden Daniels?
It's not Jaden this time, but it's going to be quarterback Evan Powell to B. Birmingham for the score. And Cajon jumped out to an early lead. That's Cajon's Nico Papazos on that big catch, hit by Aquinas' number 1, injures his hand on that play, and that would be a factor later because he was actually the backup quarterback. Then it's going to be Powell to MT Miles on the big pass play, about to it out the 10-yard line or so. And then it's Papazos, who actually was at Aquinas early in his career, transferred to Cajon, plays QB, plays receiver, goes in for the touchdown there. Now Powell to Jared Rennick on the completion. Then Powell to MT Miles on the completion. Cowboys on the move the chains. Then it's going to be the touchdown run by Isaiah Holly, the former Redlands East Valley quarterback, now at Cajon, gets in for the score. Aquinas starting quarterback Charlie Reyes injured in this game. Emergency QB Yakeem Halliburton, number 23, would take over, but his life was a little bit easier when he can just hand off to JoJo Solis. The long touchdown run by Solis. House call there. Aquinas gets their first TD of the game there. Then it's going to be Papazos now in at quarterback to Brandon Rivers on the completion. Halliburton actually made that tackle. And then Aquinas' Kaimani Badell, the INT there, gives the Falcons the ball back. That sets up Halliburton on this TD run. But it was too late, Jeff. Cajon jumped out early, held on 31-16. The Cowboys now 3-0, and the Falcons, who had a daunting non-league schedule, they dropped to 1-3.
Now here's my question: when does Cajon ever drop off? They lose the greatest quarterback in the state of California. You think they're going to have some kind of downtime, but they continue to get better and better and better.
They really do. In fact, I talked to the Ahmad and Assad Chapman twins, who are studs for Cajon High School.
Article written about them in the paper this week.
Was that our guy Dennis Pope? Did he do that?
Marshall. Pete Marshall?
That's right.
Pete
yes.
Marshall. See, there's something in his brain, but a great article about those two young men.
Yeah.
Check it out. if you
Yeah,
can.
but they said before the season that ever since Jaden Daniels, the star quarterback, graduated, everyone's been waiting for Cajon to fall off. I guess it's not this year. They have a big game, obviously, against Citrus Valley in league play coming up. Beaumont could be tough, right?
Yeah, you got
Beaumont.
Jeff Steinberg. They're
Yeah.
playing somewhere. Where are they?
They're in Utah, and they won tonight. We'll get to their score in a little bit, but they won tonight. So
I love it.
they're undefeated on the season right now. All right, let's go back out to the desert. We saw Norda Vista win out in the desert. We saw Ramona win out in the desert. Could Notre Dame do the same? Let's go to those highlights. Notre Dame playing on the road at Xavier Prep. It would not go the Titans' way tonight. In fact, it was an uphill battle from the very start for our guys from Notre Dame. And Jeff, I know you're a big fan of Coach Pontius out there.
Yes, Pontius Pilate.
Braden Cervello, the interception here for Xavier Prep. They would capitalize on the ensuing drive. Watch number 21, Tyson Ruiz just had a really big game for Xavier Prep. We're going to say his name quite a bit. Cervello quite a bit as well. Ruiz off to the races, and he's going to go in for the touchdown there for the Saints in this parochial rivalry game. And it looks like they had a lot of fans out there in the desert as well. Notre Dame going back to the air, and another interception by Braden Cervello and Xavier Prep.
Xavier Prep.
Xavier. I've heard it both ways. So they're back in business. They send out the offense once again, and they would capitalize. So Cervello, who already has a couple interceptions, well, he's going to get into the act on offense. Makes the catch here, the little slant across the middle, goes in for another Xavier Prep touchdown. We won't bore you with all of the plays. Here comes Ruiz with another touchdown.
A lot of highlights here.
A lot of highlights for Xavier Prep. They win 68-0 tonight against Notre Dame. But for Xavier Prep, it's only going to get tougher as they're going to get Aquinas next week.
No, don't play.
Or no, I'm sorry, Aquinas.
Look at that big giant guy. He's about 18 feet tall.
I'm sorry, they played Aquinas last week. Aquinas already beat them. They're going to get Aquinas gets Notre Dame next week, so it doesn't get any easier for them.
No, but did you see that guy looked like
he's big. He looked like you wearing a football uniform.
Giant. That guy was awesome.
So Notre Dame still looking for their first win of the season. All right, tonight here on the Friday Night Pep Rally, let's go to the scoreboard for the first time tonight. We still have a lot more highlights to get to, and we got some special interviews coming your way as well. But let's go to the scoreboard tonight. Buena Park won better than the Arlington Lions, 28-27. The Lions, Jeff, now 2-2 on the season, but any way you slice it, it's been a strong start for Arlington.
All they needed was a little bit more leg. El Lucha Legador. Tough loss there, losing to Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah, basically, right?
Yeah.
Next score up, we've got Beaumont going on the road to Dixie in Utah. First time that Beaumont has traveled out of state for a high school football game. Jeff, they win. They're 4-0. They beat Dixie by 20. In fact, when I checked the score, I think they were losing 14-7 in the third quarter. So they're second half team.
Jeff Steinberg took his team. They practiced at UNLV. Then they went to
I think it was Utah Tech, wasn't it?
Utah Tech. They went to all these different colleges on their drive. You thought they would have been tired out, but apparently not.
They did it.
Win.
They really did it. Citrus Valley taking on Oak Hills, two of the top teams in the southern section.
That's a tough one.
And Oak Hills is really good, and they beat Citrus Valley by 5. So Citrus Valley was right there. In fact, I remember a couple weeks ago, Oak Hills beat Aquinas by double digits. So that was a tough game there for Citrus Valley. Redlands played at Marina, and the Terriers suffered their first loss of the year, 42-32 against Marina. Redlands East Valley and Elsinore. This was a game I knew going in. It should be competitive, and it certainly was. The Tigers hold on 38-29 against the Wildcats. Centennial. We're gonna have highlights of this game, Jeff, in our next segment.
What?
But
Look at
man,
that score.
Centennial ranked number 13 in the country. Bishop Gorman number 2 in the country in Las Vegas. And, the Huskies fell behind early, and it was just too much of a hole to climb out of. 56-28, the final there. Again, highlights coming from that one a little bit later in the show. Murrieta Valley and Murrieta Mesa. And when I checked this score, Jeff, earlier tonight, Mesa was actually on top. But Nighthawks win 29-25 by your guy, Bear Bachmeyer.
Bear Bachmeyer. I thought for sure they were going to go down when I was reading the scores, but what a huge, huge win and great comeback.
Yeah, not tonight, Jeff. Chaparral taking on Temecula Valley, and Chaparral hammers the Golden Bears 42-7. The final score. The Pumas improved to 3-1. The Bears are at 2-2. Santiago taking on Norco, and congrats to our good friend Dan Barlage, former RCC assistant, right? Former head coach at Valley View, getting his first win at Norco, 47-7 against our old pal Bert Esposito. Yeah,
Bert's 0-4. Tough one.
He'll get some wins. They're coming, but not tonight. Norco wins. Next up, we got Maranatha and Corona, I believe. Yeah, Corona's actually, they were off to a good start. They were 2-0. Then they ran into Maranatha, which was a buzzsaw right there. 48-13 the final there. Vista Del Lago and Great Oak, two of the better teams in the area. A real measuring stick for the Ravens. But Great Oak wins tonight 28-9. I cannot wait for the Big West Conference, that lower division.
That's going to be a good one.
Super competitive games coming up very, very soon. Arroyo Valley and A.B. Miller. Man, Arroyo Valley, 55-26, Jeff.
Wow. Arroyo Valley, they've been up and down a little bit this year. They got to win, I think, to start the season.
Yeah.
And then they had kind of a couple little goofy losses.
So real quick, let's stay on the scoreboard just real quick. Yeah, because they lost their first game against Arrowhead Christian. We had highlights on the show.
Yes.
So Coach Dufour, who's an assistant to head coach TJ Stanford, he texted me the score, and I was like, wow, congrats, Coach. He says, yeah, kids are working hard. Coach Stanford leading the ship. So, man, they're turning things around. They're 3-1 right now after that big win against A.B. Miller. All right, moving on. Let's see. San Bernardino, Riverside Prep. Cardinals win up in the High Desert, 53-22 the final there. Whittier Christian and Pacific. The Pirates dropped to 0-4 as they lose by, let me do some quick math, 50?
Yes.
50. Claremont and Kaiser. Do you have Billy Cardosi stats?
No, he didn't talk to me tonight because, he hasn't sent me anything yet. Holy cow, they did win, though.
Hold on. I got some stats here. Let me throw some out here. So, Kyle Shine. Oh, Coach Cardosi. Oh, he only put their numbers. Number 1, who's Kyle Shine. He had 171 yards on the ground. And number 3, who's number 3?
Oh, he's the other running back. He's the skater.
He's the skater?
He's a skateboarder, yeah.
174 yards.
That's all I remember. He's a skateboarder.
Well, they rolled to a victory, 40-20 against Claremont. Let's see. Etowanda and Harupa Hills. Our good guy, Cedos Marinas at Harupa Hills, trying to get their first win of the season. Etowanda's pretty good, though. They're 4-0, 34-7 the final there. Jeff, what finger do you want to lose?
My pinky.
Okay, Eisenhower wins again. So.
Hey, I've already thought about this. You know, you have when they go undefeated, I'm going to donate my pinky. They're going to turn it to bone, and then they're going to wear it as a necklace. So what is it? The chain that like if you get
like a turnover chain.
Yeah, turnover chain.
Yeah.
So it'll be the Ronnie Lott chain. Donated finger by Jeff Gorham.
Oh, my gosh. If they go undefeated all season long, they win tonight, 35-21 against a very good Hart team on the road. So that was a big win for Ike.
This finger is starting to feel numb.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Hemet and Rialto. Let's move on while Jeff still has 10 fingers. Hemet 35-15. Nice win for the Bulldogs there. The Knights still looking for their first win. Rim of the World in Los Osos. Rim's actually... They got a good team, Jeff. I don't know what happened against the Bears, Los Osos.
Well, because they were playing down in the valley.
When you play up on the mountain in the fog and in the rain, it's a different story.
Well,
right?
yeah, you can't see the field, so you win a lot of your games. So they had to come down the hill.
And finally, right now, at least, Big Bear and Colton. Colton wins 32-20.
That's a big win.
The final in that one. All right, that's going to lead us in, Jeff, to our first commercial break of the night. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got some special interviews lined up, and more scores, and more highlights right here on the Friday Night Pep Rally on Riverside TV.
2, 1.
Horns up. I'm Sincere Tolbert, running back.
And I'm Michael Perez, outside linebacker, and we're Ramona Rams.
We've got something special for you.
Every week, Riverside TV hosts a Friday Night Pep Rally.
With highlights, scores, and interviews featuring the best in the Inland Empire.
No one covers high school football like Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
So tune in live at 11 p.m. to Riverside TV's Friday Night Pep Rally.
Every Friday night this football season, and of course,
Go Rams!
The City of Riverside Public Works Department wants you to know how holidays affect your trash service. Trash pickup will not be available during major holidays and collection times will be adjusted in response. Residents with city trash service will see the following adjustments. For Monday holidays, your Monday collection will happen on Tuesday and Tuesday collections will occur on Wednesdays. For Thursday holidays, Thursday service will occur on Friday and Friday service on Saturday. For Friday holidays, your Friday service will occur on Saturday. Residents served by outside vendors will experience a one-day delay of service for each day after any holiday taking place Monday through Friday. And for more information about trash services, recycling, or bulky items, visit the Public Works website at riversideca.gov/publicworks. The City of Riverside Public Works Department provides high-quality trash and recycling services for our customers. Convenient curbside trash collection services promote a clean and healthy Riverside. To help us provide you with top-quality service, we ask you to follow a few key rules. When placing your trash containers for pickup, please observe the following. Place each container with at least 3 feet separation from each other and at least 6 feet from obstructions such as parked cars, fire hydrants, mailboxes, and trees. Your bin should be placed at the curb no later than 5:30 a.m. on your collection day with the arrow on the lid pointed toward the street to ensure your bins get emptied. If you are experiencing issues with your trash collection, or perhaps need a replacement for a damaged trash bin, please contact our customer service call center by using the 311 app or website, or by dialing 951-826-5311 to reach one of our customer service representatives. And for more information about trash services, recycling, or bulky items, visit the Public Works website at riversideca.gov/publicworks.
What's up? It's Rashawn Haylock. Of course, I love my high school football, and for all things IE, I stay locked in with my guys Pep and Jeff on the Friday night Pep Rally.
The Friday Night Pep Rally on Riverside TV. More highlights and scores coming your way, including San Jacinto taking on the Rancho Verde High School tonight. But first, we're going to hear from John Rice, former coach at JW North, Riverside Poly, and now an assistant out at the Jack, San Jacinto. Jeff Gorham sat down with Coach Rice and has more.
Hey, thanks, Pep. We are joined by one of my all-time favorite people in the world. He's an English professor, teacher. He's a dad. He's a coach. He is the great John Rice. John, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Man, I'll tell you what, we've wanted to have you on the show for so long, and one of my favorite things is talking to friends. You're a dear friend, first and foremost, but you're still coaching. You were at Poly last year. You have been virtually everywhere here in the Inland Empire, at North, St. John Bosco, Eisenhower. You've been everywhere, but where are you right now?
At the wonderful and great San Jacinto High School with Eric Galliano. Just blessed to be there. Great program, state finalist last year. Looking forward to run it back this year.
Well, I'm going to say the one thing that surprises me the most, and it should mean the most, is you get to coach with your son now.
I do. What a gift. I get up to go to practice in summer, and one day my son's trailing saying, I'm going. And I said, you want to watch practice? He goes, no, I'm a coach now. And I said, okay, son, blessing. So he's been out there, and it's been a blessing to spend the time with him, the hour drive. We get to share and talk and visit with each other, and it's just a joy to see him out there. I'm proud of him.
Now, here's a big one for me. What was it like coaching him over at Riverside Poly? What's the difference between coaching him now, or coaching him last year, and being an assistant coach with him this year?
Well, early I made the decision not to be a helicopter dad and not have him play football until he absolutely begged. And so he did that. He was a little bit older. And then I got some advice, some people that knew better, and they said, all of them said, don't be his coach, don't be his position coach, and don't talk about football on the way home. So I took both of those pieces of advice, and he played on the defense, and I was offensive coordinator, so put him in the capable hands of my staff. It was great to see him out there and be with him every day, and it was just a blessing. I got to be with him for 4 years, and now I get to be with him, on the football field.
Well, Coach, you've, like I said, you've been at some great programs. You've been at St. John Bosco, you've been over at North High School, you've been at Poly, but everybody's telling me you're out on these Thursday and Friday night games. You've seen a lot more games than probably I have here locally.
I love to watch Riverside football. I think it's great now that everybody's playing each other. It's good for the schools, the community. We play a good brand of football here, and I just want to go out and see my friends. I have friends on the coaching staff, so I want to support them and get my fix on Thursday nights when I can. And when we play on Thursday, I want to go see somebody on Friday night. I don't know how long I'm going to be coaching. I just want to enjoy it as long as I can.
Now, there's been some great games so far. In fact, tonight we had some great ones, but of some of the teams you've seen this year, who surprised you the most? Who's the best team you've seen?
That's a loaded question because Ken Badorf's a good friend, and I went to see them live. And Tejon Henderson, an ex-player of mine, scored 5 touchdowns, and they look impressive. And I went to see my friend Jason McMains at King play Roosevelt, and they played very well for a half and succumbed in the second half. And I think those teams right now are at the top of Riverside football, and everybody here does a good job. So I think those two teams are pretty even. They won't play each other, I don't think, unless they somehow get in a playoff match. But I encourage them to have good seasons, keep going, and I support them in everything they do.
Well, Coach, I know there's something really near and dear to your heart. Tell us about this organization that you run that has been beneficial to student athletes here locally in the Inland Empire for years.
So let me get this straight. Coach Bill Powell is the president of the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame Riverside County chapter. I serve as the banquet chairman and the vice president, and try to do work behind the scenes to nominate the scholar athletes, accept those scholarship nominations from each coach, one per school. They have to have a 3.0 GPA and be a first-team All-League player. And then the committee goes over the nominations, and we announce the team in the spring, and then we have a banquet for them, and we honor them. We honor the parents, the coaches, and the school. And it's just a great vehicle to honor scholar athletes, which is still what it's all about in the end. And we do give a scholarship for one of those lucky athletes, and then they get nominated for the Western region, and their names are ingrained in a memorial in Dallas at the College Football Hall of Fame. So it's a worthwhile endeavor, and it's a way for me to serve and to give back.
Well, it's a great organization. They all wear tuxedos and everything. There's been senators, doctors. They all come from this organization. I mean, we've had guys here locally that have gone on to big things.
We have, and we've had Army officers, we've had police officers, we've had professors, we've had pilots, we've had, these men go on and are great leaders, and sometimes those are the seeds we plant. We don't always get to see them sprout right away, and it's a great night to have one of them come back and be a featured speaker, a keynote speaker, and witness and encourage those young men to go on and make the best out of their future, which sometimes includes football and sometimes doesn't.
Well, Coach, we really appreciate everything you've done for the city of Riverside. You're continuing this growth, over at San Jacinto. Love talking to you. Every coach in Riverside always asks me, how's John Rice? How's John Rice? Well, you seem like you're doing fine, Coach.
I'm doing great. I'm blessed to be able to coach. I'm blessed to be able to have some friendships in Riverside and want to serve any way that I can to support the kids and the coaches and the programs in Riverside.
Well, he is John Rice, and we are going to be right back here on the Friday Night Pep Rally. More scores and action coming up next.
All right, good stuff, Jeff, and thank you to Coach Rice for making time for us. As we mentioned, Coach Rice now an assistant with San Jacinto. San Jacinto taking on the Rancho Verde. In fact, Rancho Verde came in 3-0. San Jacinto came in 0-3. Something we had to give tonight. Let's go to the highlights, courtesy of our good friends at Team Vision TV 16. Tim Hatch standing by to do some of the highlights with us as well. It was 3-zip Rancho Verde when the Jack goes through the air. Sebastian Wood to Dylan Gresham, who might be maybe one of the best receivers in the country. One-handed grab, 7-3 ball game at halftime, third quarter. San Jacinto's Malachi Brown was about 80 yards on this touchdown run, and it looks like we sped up the game, but Malachi is just that fast, goes in for the score, 14-3, hashtag the Jack. Fourth quarter now, Rancho Verde trying to make it a ball game. You can see it on the board right there, 14-3. Dylan Riley, man, you will not find a better running back in our area. Goes in for the touchdown, so things getting interesting out there at Rancho Verde. But later in the fourth quarter, the Jack would answer. They go back to Brown. He gets in there for another San Jacinto touchdown. The Mustangs would make things close. Late in this ball game, it's going to be another touchdown by Riley coming up, but it was too late. 21-16 would be the final score, and as we watch this final highlight play out, we do want to bring in Tim Hatch. He was on the call tonight on Teen Vision, TV 16, and Hatch, man, what a great ball game. You know, back and forth. Rancho Verde came back, but San Jacinto getting their first win of the season, holding off a good Mustangs team.
It was a great game because if you look at San Jacinto, 0-3 record, they had a schedule tougher than Bataan Death March in the Philippines World War II. But Rancho Verde 3-0, there was no slouch either. They beat some good teams, but they keyed on Dylan Riley. The first half, he had 9 carries for 23 yards, coming into the game, averaging 230 yards a game. 695 yards coming in, and they were all over him like a cheap suit. So the last touchdown he caught, the touchdown on slant, was from Tyrell Burpee, who gave San Jacinto some indigestion. But that last
Burpee. Hey, do you remember doing the 3-count burpees? Did you ever do those in elementary school?
I tried not to. That means you're in trouble or something.
No, you did the up down.
Yeah,
burpees.
yeah.
That's a 3-count burpees.
Yeah, I don't want to do those. They're hard work.
Last thing, Sebastian Wood, the quarterback for San Jacinto, incredible game. Played a great game. San Jacinto looked very tight, brought it together, and looked very good.
See, I thought it was unfair. Like going into the game, you look on paper at least, and San Jacinto was 0-3, and Rancho Verde was 3-0. But I think we all kind of knew, hey, this was going to be a good game. Like it should have been, competitive. They were pretty equal, I thought, and it played out that way.
Excellent game.
Well, I always pick San Jacinto to lose, and they end up winning that one. So.
Of course, right? You're their good luck charm in a weird way.
Anytime I pick San Jacinto to lose, they win. They're going to lose the rest of their games. They'll be fine.
I do want to say Coach Galliano was texting me right before the show and even during the show started. Yeah, so Malachi Brown had 2 touchdowns as they got their first win of the season. So Tim calls games on Teen Vision. You've seen Rancho Verde. You've seen Orange Vista, right, as well? Oh, yeah, because there was that tough loss against Vista Murrieta. Yeah. You saw them. So when we talk about the Ivy League, going even back to last year, North was in the mix to the final week of the season. Yes. Orange Vista and Rancho Verde were going head-to-head.
Elsinore.
Week 9, Elsinore was in the hunt. So you've seen Rancho and Orange Vista. In my estimate, I feel like Rancho Verde is probably a little bit better than what we saw last year, right? Is that safe to say?
Absolutely, yes. 2 years, year 2 of the Eric Zomalt regime.
Yeah.
And they're buying in, especially on defense. Their defense, A.J. Boone, cornerback, they fly to the ball. They flock to it like my mother-in-law flocks to a ham at Thanksgiving. It's incredible. But,
Tim's got all of them tonight.
But between the two, Orange Vista did have suffer a blow with the loss of Sager Gaines.
Yeah.
He was out tonight. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but that foot was bothering him. They say it might have a fracture in it, but we don't know because the Arizona State commit, early graduate coming up.
No, he's a stud. He's easily one of the best players in the area.
So I had a chance to see him, then the Oregon commit tonight.
Yeah, Dylan Gresham.
With that one-handed catch that Jeff could never do with no pinky. No. So let's hope to keep the pinky so you can catch it.
If Eisenhower does it.
It's yours, baby. It's yours.
This one right here is yours. So, going to Orange Vista again, losing Gaines, obviously that's a huge loss for them because he's one of the top players in the area. When I talked to the other coach, Greg Zomalt, at Orange Vista before the season started, when you looked at their non-league schedule, I mean, it was brutal. Like they leveled up. They played Cajon, Vista Murrieta, Mission Hills. Yeah, do you have another one-liner for their brutal non-league schedule?
The Trail of Tears.
Jeez, yeah, that was a brutal schedule.
Yes.
But really, for them, for Orange Vista, the defending Ivy League champion, like in the back of their mind, Coach Zomalt was thinking, if we, really go hard in the non-league portion of the schedule, we will be ready to make another Ivy League, title run. And I would say they're the favorite again.
One of the things I talked about with Coach Greg Zomalt before the season was he had trouble finding non-league opponents. That's why they had to play Mission Hills today, a tough San Diego area school.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to play them. They're kind of reminiscent back to the days when they were at Citrus Hill together, and when they won a state championship, it was tough to find the non-league opponents that want to go play them.
That is tough. When you're that good, it's like a lose-lose, right, for a visiting team to play a really good team like that.
That's going to be a great matchup on the final day.
Rancho Verde against Orange Vista, Week 10.
Yeah. I'm just happy that you could tell the two Zomalt brothers apart. That's a big part for me because they look identical.
Greg's the big one.
Yes.
Whoa, what do you mean big?
Yeah.
Bulky?
Like
Big?
you. He's your size.
He's taller. He's the taller of the two.
Yeah, they're both great guys. I like their mom the best, though. She goes to all those
She's
games.
very, very sweet. Yeah. She's a big football fan as well. In fact, have you met her on the sidelines?
I have.
Yeah. Yeah. She's at all the games.
It's a great family all the way around. Their sons coming through and playing.
Yes.
And that's what Rancho was missing this year was Eric's son graduated last year. So being replaced by Nehemiah Jones tonight.
Yeah.
And actually Rancho was out without their leading tackler tonight. Jeff Benson was out. He separated his shoulder in the previous game. So who knows?
You are a funnel of knowledge, Tim Hatch.
A funnel cake of knowledge.
Tim Hatch, everybody. Teen Vision TV 16. You can check out Citrus Hill, Rancho Verde, Orange Vista all season long. Tim is on the call. Tim, it's always great to see you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
And Tim, it's okay to see you.
Yeah. All right, let's keep the highlights rolling on. Let's check out La Sierra on the road at Indian Springs. The Eagles trying to get their first dub of the season with tonight be the night. There's new Indian Springs head coach Marcus Williams taking over, trying to get his first win. There's Nemo Neal. This guy is a star for the Coyotes, but he's been out this season with an injury. Made his debut tonight. Big run here for the Eagles, moving it on the ground. And then it's going to be Nemo Neal doing a little bit of everything for the Coyotes. Tackle for a loss in the backfield on defense. And then Nemo Neal playing a little bit of offense at running back and pops off a nice run here for Indian Springs and a first down for the Coyotes. So obviously they missed him very much. Quarterback for Indian Springs, Damian Mancha to David Mancha on the reception. That's a first down for the Coyotes.
Mancha.
Double Mancha, right? And the big sack there by Deshaun Hill for the Indian Springs Coyotes. Not a lot of scoring in this first half as the defense has played really well. La Sierra's QB on the run, fumble on the play. The Eagles would recover. They get the football back, and this time they try to go to the air. In fact, they're trying to go to the end zone. They want a touchdown, but Jose Burgos says, not today. The interception in the end zone as they turn away La Sierra on that drive. But the Eagles trying to get some revenge. Oh, he jumped the route, Jeff. He almost had a pick six.
And he would have had that hood over his thing. He's wearing a hood outside of his jersey.
He is. Do you like that look?
No.
You don't like that look?
No, it's not cold out. It's 100 degrees.
La Sierra on offense, they would score the only touchdown of the first half. The pass there sets it up right there at the goal line. They would punch it in. They led 7-0 at halftime. Get in there for the touchdown as La Sierra. Congrats to Coach Sean Moore and the Eagles. Their first win of the season, 28-7 on the road at Indian Springs. So, Jeff, we knew it was going to happen. Tonight's the night as La Sierra gets win number 1.
Yeah, good job, Coach. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a fun year in the River Valley League. Looking forward to seeing the Eagles when they get all those players eligible to play.
That's right. Former Indian Springs head coach
Chris Chaddick.
Chris Chaddick, yeah, now the head coach at San Gorgonio. And Jeff, if there was a fun story, a Cinderella story, 4 games into the season, San G's probably right at the top of the list. They are 4-0 this season. I think they were 2-8 last year. So what a turnaround for our friend Coach Chaddick out there at San G.
I'll tell you what, I've seen Chaddick's feet, and there's no way he's wearing a glass slipper by any chance. But I'll tell you what, Chris Chaddick does a great job. He's got Gary Hedlund. He's got Coach Martinez, Andy Martinez. Andy Martinez has been coaching high school football as an assistant coach for, I think, 137 years. So
it's been a long time.
Does a great job. Chris Chaddick has really had San G going in the right direction.
All right, speaking of, without further ado, let's go to those highlights. San Gorgonio taking on Citrus Hill in this game, and San G using that stingy Chaddick defense. It's going to be Adrian Favela. The interception, 52 yards back the other way for the score. 6-0 San G, or they like to call it, was it G Swaggy or something like that? Swaggy G or something? I probably get it all wrong. Peyton Clark, quarterback, transferred in for the Spartans, and he is a good one. 27-yard strike to Jaden Edgar, and that was on 4th down for the score. 12-0 in the second quarter. Swaggy G on top. Spartans score on the final play of the first half. It's going to be Clark to Javen Sawyer on the TD strike. It was 20-0 at the break. So we fast forward to the second half, and Dylan Carolina had himself a huge game for San G. Runs in that touchdown there, and then Carolina comes up with an interception, and that would set up this. Carolina 55 yards on the scoring. Scamper finds nothing doing there, changes direction, and nobody's going to get Carolina. Goes for the score. San Gorgonio 4-0 on the season as they top Citrus Hill 34-0, the final score. What do you think about that, Jeff?
I love it, but they have a tough one next week, I heard.
They do. They're going to get Liberty next week. Liberty lost tonight, which is, I was surprised, but that's a big game.
The Bison and the Sanji Spartans.
All right. Yeah, the Sanji Spartans. Yeah.
I know.
Swaggy G.
Swaggy G.
Just like you. That's what they call you, too, Swaggy G.
Yeah. No, they call me Saggy G. When I was young, I was swaggy. Now
Not
I'm just
anymore.
saggy.
No, old guy over here. Let's check out Yucaipa on the road at Palm Desert. We talk about all of our local teams going out to the desert, and most of them coming back with dubs. Yucaipa and Palm Desert. Interception here. That's Damian Miller, the INT for the T-Birds, and that would set up this. Deese Turner, the QB on the keeper, calls his own number, goes in for the Yucaipa touchdown. Then it's going to be Logan Barber, the touchdown run. And Jeff, watch this, man. Logan Barber, great running back, skips back to the sideline, man. Just enjoying it, having a good time.
And he's wearing a hood, too. What's going on?
Is he got a hood, too?
He's got to stop skipping. Just knock it off, bro.
Here comes another Barber touchdown, hood and all. Does he really have a hood on,
Yes,
too?
he's got a hood
I don't
on.
think he did.
Come on, he's got a hood on and he skips.
43-0. Yucaipa is also 4-0.
I like Yucaipa.
Are you ready for that?
At Thunderbirds.
Yeah, that CBL between Cajon, Citrus Valley, 4-0 Beaumont, 4-0 Yucaipa. I'm here for it. Redlands and Rever both improved. Man, there are going to be some battles in the
There's going to
CBL.
be somebody that's not going to make the playoffs.
It's sad. Sad but true. Yeah, sad but true.
Sad, very sad.
All right, one more game tonight that we want to get to highlights of. It was Centennial going on the road to Las Vegas, taking on the second-ranked Bishop Gorman team from Las Vegas. This game was on ESPN tonight, so the whole country saw this game, and, man, it did not go well for Centennial. That's Devon Rice, the touchdown run on the first offensive snap of the game, 7-zip, and here comes Rice again. So just like that, first quarter, it's already 14-0 Bishop Gorman. But you can never count out Matt Logan and the Huskies. Here is Cornell Hatcher. What a great run by Hatcher, showing off the speed and gets to the paint for Centennial. Got the Huskies on the board, made things a little bit more manageable. But, man, Bishop Gorman's got some great running backs, of course, some great receiver. That one's Elijah Lofton, the touchdown catch there for Bishop Gorman. Here comes Lofton again, rolling out to his left. There is Lofton getting and lunging across the goal line for the score. And 28-7 at that point in the second quarter. Here comes Bishop Gorman again on offense. That's QB Micah Alejado. Alejado takes off on the run, big run, all the way to the doorstep, and that would set up another Bishop Gorman touchdown right here. Alejado rolls out to his left, finds this guy in the back of the end zone. And Centennial, they made it close, but they were kind of their own worst enemy. We hate when this happens. Look at them in the red zone, getting ready to score a touchdown. Fumble on the play. They turn it over. It just was not the Huskies' night. They lose tonight to Bishop Gorman, 56-28, the final out there in Las Vegas. Again, Bishop Gorman only ranked behind Mater Dei in the whole entire country.
I blame Penn and Teller because they probably went and saw a show and the Centennial Huskies don't lose like that, especially in Vegas, of all places.
I don't. Matt Logan doesn't strike me as a Penn and Teller guy.
Well,
maybe Blue Man Group, or I don't know.
Maybe it's just stop swimming at the pools, stop oogling on everybody, but no, tough loss there in Las Vegas.
Yeah, the Centennial's still very, very good. Don't get us wrong. They're still really good. All right, a couple more scores before we leave you tonight from Grand Terrace and Patriot. Our good friend Dennis Pope, who was here in studio with us, Jeff, last week.
He was there at the game.
He covered this one. It was a back-and-forth battle. GT wins 34-28 the final there. Bloomington taking on Supa Dupa Harupa Valley. The Bruins win 24-13.
Hey, I recall one time when I was the PA announcer, and I called Harupa Valley got beat by 100 to Bloomington.
They did?
It was 108-20. I think
And you were on the call?
I was
on the mic?
I was the mic, and yeah, it was. But so that's a better score than what I called.
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, Faux High in Ontario. Fontana wins big tonight, 42-14. You just snored over there.
Snorted.
Oh man, Jeff's tired.
Yes, I am.
But he's got all 10 fingers for now. West Valley and Carter tonight. West Valley 22-19. West Valley's got a good thing going out there in Hemet. They quietly put together wins. 22-19 the final tonight. Congrats to the Mustangs. Next up, the Menifee Bowl. Jeff, this is in your backyard.
No.
These are your people.
Heritage got beat. I mean, this used to be a juggernaut. They won like 900 straight games.
Menifee Bowls, yeah. And Sun Belt League
Valley,
games.
though, making a comeback.
Yeah,
A little better.
Paloma Valley wins 37-0. They're 3-1 on the year.
It's like Chance Nolan's back.
It is like, and Paloma Valley on Twitter would not mention Heritage by name. They said like the blue team down the street.
Whoa! That's unfair. That's not very nice.
Liberty and Del Norte. We talked a little bit about this game earlier, but Liberty falling, losing for the first time this season, 28-21 down in the San Diego area. But they got San G next, Jeff.
They do, but the Bison are going to do very well. I don't want to say they're going to beat Chris Chaddock, but I love. I do love Chris Chaddock.
How dare you?
I do love me some Liberty too.
Coach Chaddock, I got your back. Watch, Coach Hogg's going to text me right now from Liberty. Be like, what are you talking about?
That's all right. I'll be a Hog guy.
We love you both. Next up, Arrowhead Christian in Paris. My Eagles, the Eags, do it again, Jeff.
I'm telling you what, the Fernandez children have brought a new presence to Arrowhead Christian Academy.
They really have.
But a huge win, man. 4-0.
Yeah, they are 4-0. They win at Paris 28-21. Linfield Christian and Tockwitz. And we probably don't talk about Tockwitz enough. There's actually some really good football going on out in the Hemet, San Jacinto area right now. But Tockwitz beats Linfield Christian 28-10. The Titans are 4-0.
I believe you have to be 21 to drink Tockwitz.
Tockwitz?
Oh, no, the school. I got
The
you.
school,
Gotcha.
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Tockwitz.
Football.
A little hidden gem out there.
Yes. Orange Vista and Mission Hills. We mentioned this game just a little bit earlier when we had Tim Hatch on, but yeah, Orange Vista falling to Mission Hills 41-12 the final there. Moreno Valley and Diamond Ranch, we did not get that one. Northwood and Valley View. Valley View suffering a 28-7 loss. And I think we do have one more. Is it CSDR? Yeah, CSDR losing tonight in Newport Beach to Sage Hill, 41-6. So the Cubs still trying to rekindle that magic, Jeff, from a season ago.
I'll tell you what, that magic might be only in the Disney movie that's coming out. But I'll tell you what, Coach Adams does a great job, and CSDR we have two of their games coming up here on the schedule. Coming up, can't wait to see CSDR in action.
All right, before we wrap up this edition of your favorite show,
Whoa!
the Friday Night Pep Rally.
Thank you.
No, I mean, it is your favorite show. It's the #1 show on television.
But you know what? It is not an award-winning show, and you
Not yet.
You came on my show on a Monday.
Yeah.
Are we ending this? Are we ending
Almost.
this one?
We're going to preview next week's games. But I just
here's
want to
the deal.
remind people they're watching their favorite
I'm bringing
show.
in my receipts. He said that he came on my show on Monday and said, join us on Friday night for the best show on TV.
I said that.
And I said, yeah, okay. Well, let me tell you something right now.
I said that.
There's one.
What's that? Is that for your PA announcing job at Bloomington?
Nope. These are major awards that I have received here from my coach's perspective here on Riverside TV.
For the second best show on TV, they give you all these awards.
Yeah, I would like you to take. I brought receipts, people. I brought receipts.
You have, okay, in all honesty, you have won a lot of awards.
I have.
Yeah.
Because I'm a man of the people. And people like to give me awards, so yes.
Can we leave them up here as we wrap up the show?
Of course we can.
All right, so let's take a look at the games coming up next week. The Riverside TV game is Ramona against Pauley.
Yes.
And, the Solar Series.
The Solar Series is going to be fantastic.
Are you just going to hold on?
Oh, I just love them so much because
that one looks like is that an Emmy Award or what is that?
It's an Academy Award.
For Best Supporting Actor.
Best Supporting Actor. Whoa!
For the second best.
Shot down twice.
For the second best show on TV.
Second best show. Best Supporting Actor.
Ramona at Pauley. That is the Riverside TV game next week. Jeff and Gazal will be on the call for that one. Taking a look at some of the games involving Riverside schools next week. We have the Holy War, Jeff. Notre Dame versus Aquinas. Notre Dame trying to get their first win. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say this is going to be their first one.
I am.
So, you're going to say it? You're going to call it?
Pontius Pilate's going to win the shield.
All right, Aquinas, you know what to do. I'm going to get a text message in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I love Aquinas' mom. What's her name?
Samaro.
Oh, she's
man,
wonderful.
why am I drawing a
Yeah,
blank
the
on her first name?
great, the great
Aquinas Mama.
Aquinas Mama is one of my all-time favorites. I'm
All
sorry.
right, so we got the Holy War. We got King against Marietta Valley. That game's kind of interesting. King looked good tonight. Marietta Valley got the win against Marietta Mesa, but not really in decisive fashion. I'm excited to see how that one's going to play out next week. Arlington back home against Bell Gardens. We saw the Lions take a tough loss on the road at Buena Park tonight, so we'll see if Arlington can get Bell Gardens next week. We got Hillcrest taking on Tockwitz. Hillcrest, congrats to them. They got their first win of the season this week, but they go up against a 4-0 Tockwitz. We just said, Jeff, we got to talk about Tockwitz more. I'm talking about Tockwitz.
Yeah, you got to talk about them.
La Sierra against Rubidoux. The Eagles are flying high. They got their first win of the year tonight against Indian Springs, trying to do it again, go back-to-back against a winless Rubidoux squad. Norta Vista will play on the road at Granite Hills up in the high desert. So they went out in the Coachella Valley, that desert. Now they'll go up to the high desert, trying to get another road win.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because Ken Batdorf's not allowed to be in Riverside or anywhere near. They have to send him out.
They travel far.
Well, they have to.
But they get wins.
Yeah, but nobody wants them. That's why they moved out there.
Nobody wants
Ken
Batdorf.
Batdorf.
California School for the Deaf, Riverside. CSDR will take on the Maryland School for the Deaf. And let's see, do we have one more? I think we have more. Oh, Temecula Prep and La Puente. I don't know how that one sneak in there.
I don't know.
But T-Prep, we love T-Prep. So those are some of the games coming up next week on your favorite show.
Your
number one on TV.
Your second favorite show behind the coaches. What's the name of my show?
What is it, Jeff?
Coach's Perspective here on Riverside TV, award-winning. Just know that. I want you to gaze at that, my friend. Pep, gaze.
I'm enjoying it. But it's already Saturday. It is 12:01 a.m.
I got to go.
In less than 12 hours, Jeff and Gazal will be on the call for RCC Football's home opener. For Scott Brocious and the entire Riverside TV team behind the scenes, we can't thank you guys so much for staying up late with us on a Friday night. My name is Pep Fernandez, and we'll see you next Friday night on your favorite show, the Friday Night Pep Rally on Riverside TV. I need one of these.
You can have one. I'll give you one.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.